Welcome to Creepzy. Tonight, we bring you a tale not written in the pages of common history, but whispered in the ruins of forgotten kingdoms. A tale of a king whose thirst for power did not end with his death, and whose restless soul would haunt the living for centuries. Are you ready to enter the cursed realm of King Malric of Drosvar? Centuries ago, in the land of Drosvar, there ruled King Malric, a monarch feared as much as he was respected. His empire stretched across frozen mountains and shadowed valleys. Malric was not just a ruler, he was a conqueror. His eyes burned with ambition, and his sword was never at rest. Yet behind the golden crown lay a heart poisoned with greed. Malric believed that death itself should bow before him. He ordered alchemists to craft elixirs of immortality and priests to bind spirits for his protection. Some whispered that he sacrificed his own people in rituals of blood to gain eternal power. But no power can shield a man from fate. Enemies rose, rivals from southern kingdoms allied together on the battlefield of Varkesh Plains. Malric fought with fire in his veins, but even fire meets water. Arrows rained, swords clashed, and finally the king fell, pierced through the chest by a spear of black iron. The conqueror was dead, but his story had only begun. When Malric's body was laid to rest in the crypt beneath his obsidian castle, strange things began to stir. Witnesses claimed they saw his eyes flicker open for a moment during the funeral rites. The high priest who sealed his tomb vanished that very night, his blood found smeared across the stone walls. Legends say Malric's soul refused to descend into the afterlife. Instead, it lingered, twisted with rage, chained to his castle, feeding on fear. At night, villagers heard footsteps echoing across empty halls. Some who dared to enter never returned. Others crawled out screaming. Their hair turned white from terror. Centuries passed. Kingdoms rose and fell, but the ruins of Malric's fortress remained untouched, shunned by travelers, marked as cursed ground, until curiosity awoke. Travelers, explorers, and treasure hunters came drawn by stories of hidden wealth beneath the ruins. One by one, they disappeared. Villagers spoke of screams that echoed through the night. A merchant caravan found torn remains at the castle gates, their bodies drained of life as if something had fed upon them. The curse had awakened fully. King Malric was no longer just a whisper. He was a shadow walking in the halls again. And as the moon shone blood-red one autumn night, a group of strangers dared to enter the ruins, not knowing that none of them would live to see the dawn, the arrival of the chosen one. Generations passed, and the tale of Malric's curse became both legend and warning. No one dared to cross the ruins of Drosvar Castle until a young man named Zuriel appeared. Zuriel was unlike the others. He was not driven by greed or curiosity. He had been haunted by visions since childhood, dreams of fire, screams and a crown of black iron, dripping with blood. The elders believed he was touched by fate itself when news spread that travelers were once again vanishing near the ruins. Zuriel knew the time had come, armed not with gold or weapons, but with knowledge. He journeyed toward the cursed fortress to confront the shadow of the king. As Zuriel stepped into the ruins, the air grew heavy. The walls seemed to breathe, whispering his name. Shadows moved against the torchlight, forming twisted faces that grinned at his fear. Leave or join the dead. A voice rumbled through the stones, but Zuriel pressed on. He discovered murals depicting Malric's conquests, each stained with blood. At the heart of the castle lay the crypt, sealed with black iron chains, yet the chains were broken, torn apart from within. From the darkness emerged the figure of King Malric, his flesh rotted, his crown fused into bone, his eyes burning like coals. "You dare challenge me, mortal?" Malric's voice thundered. "I ruled in life, and I rule in death." The ground trembled as Malric advanced. With each step, the walls cracked and screams echoed from nowhere. Zuriel raised a silver talisman, an ancient relic said to bind restless spirits. The clash was brutal. Malric's shadowy claws slashed the air, tearing stone apart. Zuriel dodged, chanting the verses he had learned from forgotten scrolls. Light burst from his talisman, striking Malric, but the king roared back, stronger, feeding on centuries of hatred. "You cannot kill what is already dead," Malric bellowed, but Zuriel's courage did not falter. He pressed the talisman against his own chest, offering his life as a vessel of light. A blinding radiance exploded, engulfing the fortress. Malric screamed, his form dissolving into ash and darkness. For the first time in centuries, silence filled the castle. When the villagers returned, they found Zuriel unconscious at the gates. The curse was gone, the air finally free of its weight. Though Zuriel bore scars, his spirit remained unbroken. He had proven that courage, not greed, defeats darkness. And so, the tale of the cursed king ended not with eternal terror, but with the triumph of light over shadow. Remember this: no matter how powerful